Hi everyone, welcome to Your Value. So today we're going to look at Upstart, and I'm excited for this company. I haven't been as excited about a company that could actually move up so much since, say, like Neo. And that's kind of speaking volumes, because back then when I was covering Neo at dollars, and then now you look at the share price of Neo and it's doing so well. And I kind of just see the same thing with Upstart, because just the space it's in and the speed that this company is moving in is really incredible. And if you look at every other company like in the tech space, they sell at much higher multiples. So in a sense that Upstart is really incredibly cheap for the current multiples that you're looking at, particularly given their forecast for the next 12 months. So yeah, the way you look at Upstart, it's at $125, $9.2 billion valuation. The minute quarter 4 came out, it jumped from $60 and then it's at $125. So in a very short space of time, this quarter has just put a rocket under the share price, and this company has moved up so much. So if we look at the fourth quarter results, nothing too spectacular, nothing that we didn't expect. So $86.7 million, 39% increase, still pretty good. But, you know, that's not what set this share price, it's not what it set a rocket on the share price. So if we look at the net income, $1 million on an accounting basis, and $5.4 million adjusted for that quarter. And that's phenomenal, particularly for a company that's in a growth phase, making profit. That's always the really impressive part. And if you think about it, if a company can make profit in that growth phase, those profits are going to really increase as they continue to grow much more in the future as well. So if we look at the revenue for the whole 2020, revenue was $233 million, a 42% increase. I want you to remember this number, 233 million, 42% increase. And then you're looking at a net income of $6 million, adjusted it's $17.5 million. So you can kind of see they make really good revenue, and as they grow, you can imagine this revenue is going to grow so much more as well. They're given the outlook of the first quarter. It's going to be between 112 million to 118 million, with contribution margins of 44%, and they're expected to make an income of $7.8 to $8.3 million. And adjusted 13.4 to 14.2. So you can imagine this company is going to be flush with cash, because every quarter they're just bringing in so much net profit, and they're growing so quick at the same time that this company can just afford to just spend this money and acquire many more companies. And that's basically what they're doing. So I'll go over that just right after this. And now for the really exciting part. So we look at the forecast for 2021. And they're expecting a revenue of $500 million. So how does this look incredible in the scheme of things? You remember this $233 million figure? Well, it's going to jump from $233 million to $500 million, which is really incredible. And I'm just going to do a really quick calculation for you. I probably should have done this before the video, but I'm sure you're forgiving enough. Alright, so that's 114% increase from the prior year. So when a company grows over 100%, that's pretty phenomenal, right? Particularly on these size numbers. So from 233 million to 500 million, that's just approximate. So there's potential that it could be higher. Of course, it could also be slightly lower as well. But the fact that they've given this 500 million figure just shows the confidence in their product, and also they managed to see the first couple of months of the first quarter, and they're really liking what they're seeing so far. And yeah, you gotta really be confident that, hey, this company is going to generate so many really good amount of revenues, and it's going to generate so much net profit that basically they're going to have to do what they just recently released. And I've just acquired a company called Prodigy Software, and they're aiming towards the whole automotive retail sector. The really cool part is, as they put here, each year approximately $1 trillion of cars are sold in the US, and most of them are financed. So it creates an opportunity for wherever there's lending, this company can basically implement this system, and then basically, yeah, they can just earn another pile of cash and then just keep finding places to grow. As it's put, purchasing a car comes with buyers who are less than 1% satisfied with the current process, which means basically it's up for disruption, and they kind of see that. So I think they are looking at this situation and are thinking that, hey, if we buy this company called Prodigy and we implement our system, then basically we're going to be able to save people costs, as they put around here, that they save borrowers $72 per month. So that's quite a lot of money when you save someone who's buying a car and they can save $72 a month from their financing. It's, if you imagine, most, that's very, very competitive compared to other financing options available. And usually with the auto loans, it's actually, yeah, like the rates are actually terrible for automotive loans. They generally just, yeah, like most people get into these contracts that they just can't pay back. And a lot of cases, cars are repossessed. So it's really cool to have a company like Upstart just disrupting the whole financial industry, bringing the AI system, and beginning to lower the cost for everyone to borrow by a significant amount. It's also this wording here that just really, really excites me. Like, auto retail is among the largest buy now, pay later opportunities, and together with Prodigy, we aim to help dealers create a seamless and inclusive experience worthy of 2021. And it's this whole buy now, pay later situation. Like, if Upstart gets into this as well, imagine how incredible that would be as well. Because the minute you can get into the buy now, pay later space, you can imagine, like, there's companies that are 10 times as big as Upstart, trying to get into this space, and they're doing it quite manually. Of course, there's those established players already, but if you imagine Upstart putting in their platform, able to just reduce the cost of everything around it, yeah, this company could be worth several multiples of what they're worth today. But of course, I think in this present 12 months, I think they can go to $250 at least in the next 12 months, and then probably much, much more going forward. And the thing is, this company is still in kind of that growth phase where they're still testing out their products. Like, they haven't gone for like a full rollout yet because they're still quite unsure of themselves. They still want to make sure their system is working first. And then once everything's working, basically they just find themselves a large bank, and also they've got a lot of acquisitions they can be making, and then they just implement the system and they just keep making cash hand over fist. And I can just see this company over time becoming $100 billion company, because nothing is anywhere as competitive, like not in the sense of what's available in the market. Very few companies can really compete with Upstart, and they've got such a advantage, and they've been doing this for so long now that it's hard for someone to catch up to these guys. And by the time anyone does catch up to these guys, they're going to really have captured a good part of the market. And as you can see, like a company like a firm, like they're at $19 billion, and they're probably nowhere near as impressive as Upstart is. So the fact that, yeah, like you have a company like a firm at 19 billion, I imagine, yeah, like it wouldn't take Upstart very long to catch up to that, because basically they've created an AI that basically can be implemented in any financial lending available, and that's just powerful, rather than say what Afterpay or Affirm has done. Upstart has got a tremendous advantage ahead of it. It's got a platform that can just implement, and it just creates opportunity. If you've got any questions, just post below, or any comments. Until then, good luck investing, everyone.